Good afternoon, everybody. How is everybody doing this afternoon? So glad you can join us today. Again, usual thing, can you hear me? And obviously, most importantly, can you... Oh, Louise, you're looking a bit different
miles
there.
Away.
Let's get you in focus here, my love. How about that?
It's too close. Back. That's okay. That's okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, not too close. Nobody needs to see that.
Good. Okay.
Oh, super chat. Oh, thank you so much.
Who's that? Oh, thank you so much indeed.
That's really kind. Thank you.
Thank you. JT Coin Wings.
Oh, that's so lovely. Thank you so much.
Let's just put you down a bit. There you go. Perfect.
Great.
Yes, you have to excuse this. I've been finishing off the, see, you know you've not the wrong, I'll start again. It's not the wrong week. This is not.
This music's still playing, apparently.
Oh.
What have you done?
I don't know what it was doing.
Is it stopped now?
It's stopped now. It has stopped. Apologies. I thought we had it right. But
As you
obviously
see,
we
no, we're
didn't.
organised today.
Yeah, I
we're
thought
on
we were
time,
so
everything's
organised on time, the whole thing, yeah. Okay, no, it's not the rolling mill workshop, but I just thought I would show you the rolling mill, one of 5 that we are going to be giving away next week, the 11th of November. This is Durston's new Hobby 80 rolling mill. I will say it's a budget rolling mill, but don't let that word put you off. I've been putting this rolling mill through its paces over the last week, doing some amazing things with it. It comes with a separate top roll with V-grooves, D-sections and flat, so you can swap out the top roll and put that in its place. And I have to admit, the quality that we get out of this rolling mill is exceptional. There is no difference between the quality of the end result. There's no difference from this compared to a higher price bracket Durston rolling mill. So if you want to be in with the chance of winning one of 5 of these rolling mills, and the first 2 winners out will also receive the combination, I want you to go to, if you haven't already, go to www.atb.yt/hobby. Okay, tell you all about it, and then the good thing is that we're giving away a workshop. It's a rolling mill workshop. We just finished recording it today, so it's just over 2 hours long. If you sign up for that workshop, you're in with a chance of winning one of these rolling mills, or if you want to win one of these rolling mills, you've got a free workshop that's worth £15. Yes, Louise?
We're going to premiere it next week, so it's a pre-recorded. We'll come into that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you'd forgotten about that.
Please.
It's a pre-recorded workshop, but next Monday we're going to premiere it at 2 o'clock here. Well, here you'll have the link when you sign up for it. So we're going to be watching it with you so that Andrew can answer all the questions as usual what happens in the workshops in between. So if you've not been to a workshop before, if you're not a member and you haven't seen one of our workshops, it's a really good opportunity to see what they're all about, really, completely free. And
you get a chance of winning the rolling mill.
well, not just one chance.
5 chances of winning this rolling mill. And it is a...
No. Not 5 chances to win that rolling mill.
No, okay, sorry.
No.
I'll let you explain.
It is, you get a chance to win one of 5 rolling mills. So you don't get 5 chances to win that. You get...
No, you can't, right.
you get a chance to win a rolling mill 5 times because we've got 5.
5 to give away.
Yeah.
So that's over £2,000.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
and again.
that's fine.
I'll try not to do it again.
Sorry.
Go on.
So yes, you get a chance of winning one of 5 rolling mills. Durston have never given away 5 rolling mills before. And we got something else very special coming your way as well. So stay tuned for that. Not just a Black Friday deal, but something very special as well. Again, that Durston have never done for anybody else. So go to atb.yt/hobby, HOBBY, and you can enter the workshop, free workshop. You don't have to watch it on the day. You will be able to watch it on At The Bench. It's going to be available to you forever. It's a lifetime workshop for you to watch whenever you want to. Watch it on the day if you want to. Ask questions in the chat if you want to. But you've been in a chance of winning one of these rolling mills. We've got 5 to give away, 2 with combination rolls. Okay, enough of that.
Such a great entry for a mill, isn't it?
It is. It is extremely good. And you can do things with that rolling mill that you can't do with any other rolling mill.
Really?
Just to put it out there. Good. Okay, that's over and done with. Anything else we need to talk about, Louise?
I don't think so.
Nothing at all?
No, I don't think so.
Good. Okay, should we
Was
get
there
crack?
something I was supposed to mention?
No, I was just wondering whether I'd forgotten anything.
No, I don't think so.
Nothing at all. Good.
No.
Okay. All right then. So whilst you scroll down back up to the top for any questions. So it's the Q&A. It is the 4th of November. Bonfire night tomorrow night. All looking forward to going out, seeing the fireworks, I hope. And it is time for our Q&A. So Louise, let us have our first question, my dear.
Okay. Julia's flying home from Crete. Fabulous.
Nice.
Yes, very well. Thank you, Julia. Janet's multitasking. 3 weeks worth of ironing. Oh no. Thomas has got a question. Hi, Thomas. I made a copper brooch that will also have some gemstones incorporated in it in a flush setting. I was wondering whether I should do a gold plating before or after setting the stones.
Definitely after, because the action of drilling, blowing the dust away, the lemel away, the action of burnishing the setting, the metal down onto the stone will take away the plating. So you should plate after the gemstones have been put into place. And obviously when it comes to plating, you've got to be careful what gemstones you put in. You mustn't put things like opal in or turquoise in, but you don't normally flush set those stones. Pearls, yeah.
Because that's a good question actually, is what can you, so basically with plating and where gemstones are concerned, it's pretty much treated the same as you would ultrasonic or steam. Would you say as a general rule of thumb? Because I don't know. Yeah,
I'd say a general rule of thumb. When I was in uni, I made up this gorgeous pendant. I wanted it silver plated. It was silver. I just wanted to have a nice even silver plating over the top.
Did you have fire scale on it, Andrew Berry?
I most probably did. Yeah. I didn't know what fire scale was then, did I? And I had a little reconstituted turquoise, lovely bezel set on the pendant. And obviously by going through the cleaning process and the process of plating it, it ruined the turquoise.
Oh no, what did you do?
I chipped off the turquoise, took off the bezel, and I glued a bezel on, unbeknown to anybody else, with the stone in place. Because I couldn't, it was all hinged, it was all tubing, it was all granulated.
Like a lot of work then.
Yeah, you just couldn't take it out, yeah. But I managed it.
Oh, bless you.
So yes, so let that be a lesson. So definitely. You
were very young then.
I was 18. I was 18, 19, yes. So definitely get it plated afterwards, because even though you plate it beforehand, the action of holding on to it, as I said, brushing off the lemel is going to scratch it, is going to mark it. Finish it all, set everything, highly polish it, gold plate it, handle then with gloves. Yes, Louise.
Good, okay. Yes, I'm much better now, thank you, SD. Okay, Gabby says, I've just ordered an ultrasonic cleaner. How long do I leave my metal in to clean the polishing compound, and what else do I need to know?
Okay, so it depends on the ultrasonic that you've got. Sometimes it's a single transducer, which means There's the tank. A single transducer will be down here, and that will send out waves in that direction like that. If it's a twin transducer, there's one here and there's one there, and it sends out waves within the water like that. If it's a single transducer, obviously there's going to be less agitation of the solution, so I would say leave it in there a little bit longer than a twin transducer. So how long is that? I would leave it in there for as long as necessary. Sometimes with silver, with certain solutions, as we found out with the solution we got downstairs, if you leave silver hanging in the solution for longer than what is needed, you will get almost like a matting, almost looks like it's been rubbed.
It looks like a calcified sort of, if you let it, because I left one in there way too long, and it was like a calcium build. I'm sure it wasn't calcium, but it looked like calcified. I don't know. I
think it's where the waves are constantly agitating that point all the time.
But before it gets to that, they look like ghosty marks, like white, almost like white fire stain it looked like.
Yeah.
And that's a repolish it all again.
All over again.
Yeah. But I think that was just the fluid though, because it's not something that we had before when we were using the old fluid.
Yeah. So, and also by leaving it in there too long, it gets agitated in that same spot over and over again. And sometimes perhaps if the solution is has been used and there's dirt in suspension within the solution, that dirt will vibrate and scratch against the piece. So how long do you leave it in there for? Depending again on the heat of the liquid that's in here as well. Yeah, so there's your liquid. So if the liquid is hot and you've polished something with, say, rouge, you could put it in there for perhaps for a minute or two and it will come off. If you have Tripoli is a lot more greasy and it's a little bit more difficult to get off than rouge, so you'd have to leave it in there for a little bit longer. If the solution isn't hot, usually it's around about 40 degrees. If the solution is 20 degrees, 30 degrees, it'll take longer. And also if the solution is old and you've used it for like 4 or 5 days, it may take a little bit longer again. So there's no set time. You just need to get your piece, submerge it in the ultrasonic solution. Don't put it on a metal wire because the metal wire will agitate and mark the piece. Put it on an ultrasonic rack or from a little bit of rubber tubing or something like that, or a piece of wire coated with that shrink wrap tubing that you can get. Put it in there for a few minutes just to see how that comes off, and literally it'll only take about 2-3 minutes, I would have thought, maximum. Extremely dirty jewellery that has been worn for years and years may need a little bit more for the dirt to become absorbed with water and then agitated by the solution. So yes, 2 or 3 minutes to start off with. If that's not long enough, put it back in. And also the ultrasonic may have a timer. Put the timer on, say, for 2 minutes, put it in, see what it's like after 2 minutes. If it's a bit longer, put it on for 3 minutes next time.
How do you know then when the solution is exhausted? And I know it will vary greatly between what you're putting in and whether it's just polish or whether it's other kind of, I don't know, debris or whatever. So how do you know? I know you'd have to tell by looking at it, wouldn't you? I suppose it goes a little bit opaque, doesn't it? And
you do.
Yeah. How do you know when it's exhausted?
Okay, so the ultrasonic solution is, we normally keep it going for about a week. We normally change it once a week.
But yeah, I mean, I think it should be done more, because ours gets a lot of use. It's practically, I think it needs to be changed more often than that if you're using it regularly.
So the way to tell is that look down, when you have the ultrasonic solution first, it is lovely and clean.
It's like a swimming pool, isn't it, the colour we have? It's
yes,
nice.
Depending on what solution you've got. If the solution is new, you should be able to virtually see the bottom of the tank. Once you can't see, roughly around about 1 inch from the surface, or 25 millimeters, if you can't see an item at that distance from the surface, ideally then you should change it.
I was just going to make a point, if you're putting dirty, because there's dirty with polish and there's dirty jewellery, it's probably a good idea, like we've got to have one for dirty jewellery and one for like finishing jewellery.
Yeah.
So one to remove debris and one...
Yes, especially with really dirty jewellery.
Because polish is not the same as the kind of dirt that ends up on jewellery. So that's something to consider as well,
Yes,
isn't it?
Yes. So yeah, that's what I would say. If you want to know if your ultrasonic solution is too dirty, put something in the water about an inch, 25 millimeters from the surface. If you can see it, you can keep on using it. If you can't see it, change it for some fresh solution. Yeah. Yes, Lynn.
And keep an eye on it as well, because I've noticed one of ours went funny, and I noticed that these waves only appeared to be on the ones, perhaps it's one of these double transducers.
Yes.
So yeah, we were just using the one corner of it.
Yes,
but
half of it.
Yeah, it might, because if you just put things off and walk off, which I think we often do, you don't really know how effectively it's working till you pull something out and it's not really done much. That's just my experience, limited experience.
Mm-hmm. It's good experience.
Okay. Good. Okay. Have you done some upgrades? I don't think we have we? We've got a sharp picture apparently.
Have we?
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know. It says excellent connection on it, so that's pretty
good. Could be that, couldn't it? Good. Joe is saying, what are your thoughts on tension settings and rings and pendants and the limitations with silver?
Okay, so I wouldn't rely upon a tension setting at all if it was within a ring, because the ring is not joined and the ring can open up. We've made them in the past. We made them on At the Bench, and it was something like that. Yeah. Okay, it was like that. It was thick metal, and then we put the stone in here. I've over exaggerated this, obviously, as you can see. Yep, so the stone was in there. The problem being is that the metal that we use was lovely and thick. It's hardly ever going to move. But usually rings are not made out of really over thick metal, and as a result that the rings are not joined. You put them on a finger, your finger swells, you force the ring over the knuckle, the ring is going to open up because your knuckle can't get smaller to accommodate the hole. The hole accommodates the knuckle, and as a result, these will open up, those will open up like that, and the stone comes out. So that's the reason why I would not necessarily trust a tension setting like this. What I would do is join these two sides, and I've done this for exaggeration. You know, sometimes you have rings that are simply just like this, yeah, and then the stone is set within this, yeah, that's like that, and this the rest of the stone, okay, like that. So I would never trust a setting unless it is made from something like titanium or any metal like that that has no movement about it. Silver, gold, I would not trust. What I would do is join this side to this side, okay, with a piece of metal, or in the case of what I have done in the past, that is a ring that goes around, that is fastened onto either side like that, okay, and likewise with here, there's a ring that would go around like this. So the ends will come together. Ooh, my hammer nearly fell on my head then. So we've got this going round. I'll do like a rectangular section like this. It's easier for me to draw. Okay, so that's going round like this. Okay, I would get a ring that would come in here that would go around like that. Okay, like a jump ring, and then I'd make a little cutout here, a cutout over that side, ease up, set the stones. The stone virtually sits in here. These sides will not then come apart because the metal is joined. I did a commission once for somebody in Newport, and they gave me a rough diamond, and they did not want this. They just wanted the rough diamond set within the ring like this. And I said, I will not guarantee it, because if you go to resize the ring, how do you resize it with a tension set stone? If your knuckles get big, you force it over, the stone's going to come out. So I said, without that little support, I will not guarantee it. And they said, fine.
You should get them to sign something then, really,
Yeah,
shouldn't you? To
absolutely.
say that they've disregarded, or not disregarded,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
taking your
taking
advice.
your advice and anything happens, yes.
Yeah.
Pendants are not so bad. You could do the same sort of thing with pendants, as long as the ring shape cannot be forced open, it's going to be fine. Or make something, perhaps you want to make, you can make like a bar, and a bar, yep, and then tension set your stone within that, but looking on the side, your stone would be like that, yep. And somebody ringing me, was it? Yeah. And then the stone would be located on top of a jump ring that goes behind the stone that you cannot see. So yeah, provided you take precautions on the halves not separating, you should be fine with it. It's a very long answer to a very short question. So there we go. Yes, Louise.
Good. Okay. Next question is from Soleil. How do I fix a hand engraver made in HSS that I accidentally overheated when customizing it? I tempered it by firing it with my torch until it became light yellow. Does that do the trick?
Okay. No, it doesn't. What you should do to put the temper back into your metal is, even though you may heat it, you need to shock the metal to make it hard. Okay, so what I would be inclined to do would be to get a small container, like a tin. In fact, it's on the shelf in Louise's office. She doesn't know it's there, but it's full of oil. It's full of, I think it's engine oil.
I do know it's there.
Oh, you do know? Sorry. It's engine oil. And what I would do is heat up the engraver. To a red hot, I would then quench it into the oil. Swish it round as you quench it. Okay, you bring it out. Then you would get some emery paper to clean the surface of the graver. Then, say here's your graver here, and there's your handle going over that way. Okay, so you've put it into the oil, you've cleaned it with emery paper. Now what I would do is heat up this area here with a torch, and then watch the colour of the metal change with the heat. And as this area here gets warmer, it'll go like a straw colour, it'll go like a golden colour, and it'll then change to perhaps a salmon colour, an orange colour, then a red colour. So it goes through all those stages of heat. And what you'll find is that as this then gets hotter, 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 the colour, you'll see the colour change as this part area heats up. And when the tip here gets to a straw colour, okay, this area here gets to a straw colour, stop heating it, because if you use the graver straight after immersing it in the oil, it is too brittle. You just want to take that brittleness off a fraction to make it workable, so the tip then will not snap. So heat this area, keep heating until the areas of the colours move down, and as soon as the tip gets to a straw colour, stop. You tempered it, you've reduced the brittleness, and now the graver is good to go to use once more. Obviously, clean it back up then with your memory paper if you want to, but as soon as this area gets the straw colour, that's it. Yes, Louise.
Good. Tony has a question. Good afternoon to you both. Good afternoon. If a piece has both sterling and Argentium metals included, does it have to be a mixed metal mark? Planning to have the 925 and the unicorn marks. I'm not sure that you can. I think if it's mixed metals, it's two different metals, but because it's the same metal but a slightly different fineness, it will be marked as 925 because they will mark it down to the lowest fineness / carat, won't they?
Yes.
If you've got 9 and 18 carat gold, they'll always mark it 9 carat because the 9 carat is the lowest finesse. So I think the same will be true here. So if it's got 925, I don't think you can have the unicorn mark.
No, and you won't be able to have argentium because it's still silver.
Because it's 925. So and I think the danger there is if somebody's got like a sensitivity to 925 and it's got the argentium mark, they may think they can wear it safely and they can't. So we can check, but I would say quite confidently that would be the case.
Yes, it'll just be marked. Yeah, it'll just be marked 925. There'll be nothing on there to say it's argentium because there's only one finesse of silver that they mark.
And it will be the lowest.
There's two, if you think about 950. But
you can only have one on a piece, can't you?
Yes, you can, exactly. Yes, so it would be just the 925 mark, I'm afraid, yes.
Yeah, unless you did it all in argentium.
Exactly.
And then you could have the
unicorn put on.
But you have to use argentium solder
to
have that as well, so it would have to be everything, the whole caboose.
Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, the silver solder...
The XRF is going to pick it up, isn't it?
Exactly, yes.
And they'll just say 925.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that helps. Good. Okay. Nice. While we're on the subject of the assay office and hallmarking, last week somebody asked about Kembu and about gold-filled metals. So I've had a chat with Marie, who we know at the assay office, who very kindly came and helped us with our Q&A on all things assay. And I've got some answers for you guys. So this is directly from Birmingham Assay Office, from Marie, who has all the answers to all the questions in the assay office. Where did I put it? Here it is. No, it's not. Hang on.
And this would apply to the London Assay Office and the Sheffield and Edinburgh Assay Office as well.
Just talk amongst yourselves, because I've put this email somewhere now. And
Okay. it was quite interesting. Yeah. So somebody asked if there's Kembu, which is a gold foil on silver. What's it going to be hallmarked as? And also if it's gold filled, so there's a body of metal with gold on the outside. So the gold has been filled with another metal. And so we asked Marie these questions and Marie came back very kindly. Have you found it yet, Louise?
Oh. I have got it here because I replied.
Yeah,
right,
brilliant. So here we go.
Here we go. So regarding gold filled and gold plated items, I asked, are these classed as the same? Are they hallmarked as per their parent metal? And the answer was, if the gold is on a core of silver, they will be classed the same. They will be classed the same, and they will be marked according to the fineness of the core material, e.g. 925 sterling silver. In some cases, it can be difficult to establish this, and the surface plating may have to be removed.
Okay.
But once it's removed, I guess you could reapply it once it comes back from...
Yes.
Could you just plate it after it comes back from hallmarking? I suppose that would...
I thought so, yeah.
If the gold is plated onto a non-metallic core, e.g. plastic or nylon, the gold plating should be no less than 100 microns thick. The article would be hallmarked with the appropriate mark for the surface layer, but it would also require the word filled applied to indicate to the end consumer that it is not solid precious metal.
Okay, interesting.
So, did you know that?
No, did not know that.
Okay, so yes, plastic or nylon, it has to be no less than 100 microns thick and it will be marked gold filled.
Gold filled. Okay, yes.
Great. So, regarding Kembu, the legislation regarding Kembu, articles created using the Kembu technique can pose issues in terms of testing the foil which is gilded onto the surface. Most common examples are silver items with gold on the surface. The assay offices use X-ray fluorescence to test the various components. In many cases, the fineness of the gilding cannot be established due to the thickness of it. So in many cases, it is so thin, this is simply not possible. Only if the gilding reports to be no less than the lowest standard for the metal would the item be hallmarked with silver hallmark only.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So only if the gilding reports to be no less than the lowest standard for the metal, that would be, the item would be hallmarked with silver hallmark.
So if there's less than 1 gram of gold, it would be hallmarked silver.
Yeah.
If there's more than 1 gram of Kembu on it, which is very
unlikely,
doubtful because
isn't
it's
it?
so thin, it would be hallmarked silver and gold, 9
Yeah.
carat or 24, whatever it would be, yes. Okay, brilliant.
Okay.
Anything more?
Yes, I wanted to know if pieces with gold embellishments, for example, silver with gold granules, because I've made some earrings with tiny gold granules in of 9.
Yes.
925. Would they be marked 925? Would be marked 925, wouldn't they? Because they're silver predominantly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But if the threshold is lowered to that of the highest caratage, I've asked this a bit. I can't think of a delicate way to put it, but yeah. If the so basically, I'll just read out the answer. It's probably easier.
Okay.
If the description of an item is to include reference to both metals, so I've got silver, mainly silver with gold granules, tiny gold granules.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
if I want to describe it as gold and silver,
Yes.
in the case of a silver item with gold embellishments, it is the exemption weight appropriate to the higher precious metal that applies.
Okay.
So my whole earring was something like 0.9 grams.
Yes.
So because the threshold for gold is a gram,
Yes.
I'm okay.
Yes.
If it was mainly silver with tiny gold embellishments on,
Mm-hmm.
balls now, not hembu,
Yes.
and it was 1.05 grams, I
Yes.
would have to have it hallmarked because it's tipping over the threshold for gold.
Yes.
So, yes, so you're correct in saying that the total metal weight is 1 gram or more, the item requires a hallmark. So basically they will treat it as the weight for gold because there's gold on it, but they will still mark it as silver because it's predominantly silver.
Yes.
If the standard of the gold can be established, I'm assuming that's, yeah, because it's, yeah. If the standard of the gold can be established and it's no lower than the lowest gold standard, the appropriate gold fineness mark can also be applied if requested. Oh, if the standard of the gold can be established and it's no lower than the lowest gold standard, the appropriate gold fineness mark can also be applied if requested.
So you can say gold if there was the gold balls on it, basically.
If it's over a gram,
if it was under a gram, you can still have it put on.
If the standard of the gold can be established.
Yes.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yes, so it can be marked silver and gold if it's under a gram by request, because you don't have to have a hallmark put on it if it's under a gram, but you can still send items off under a gram, as in gold, or under 6.
I guess it would be mixed
7.78.
metals then, because what you can't have is something to do with white metal, isn't there? And it can't look like it could potentially be white. Yes.
Yeah, because we sent up a platinum head on a 18 carat white gold shank. We could not get 18 carat and platinum stamp put on that ring because the metals were indistinguishable by sight.
So if you had silver with gold embellishments, I presume then if you wanted the gold mark, you'd have to have mixed metals as well.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't make it look like it was white gold.
Exactly, yes.
I think,
do
you know what, there are so many ifs and buts, aren't there? So the best thing to do, if you're not sure about anything, is just get in touch with the assay office. We use Birmingham, they're amazing. They will just, if you explain to them what you've got, they will just tell you what you need to do. And I'm sure the other assay officers will be more than happy to help you with that as well. And that's the thing, we can talk about all these different scenarios and situations, but then there's going to be more.
There's something's come up with that we haven't really answered yet.
Yeah, if you're not sure, we can ask us, but if we don't know, you're probably just best.
Contact the assay office and get the reply directly from them.
Yeah, but I don't think you could apply mixed metals to silver if they're both silver but different finenesses.
No, you couldn't. No.
Good.
Thank you, Louise, for that.
Is that okay?
Really
so there was something else I wanted to say about hallmarking and I can't remember what it was. It's gone.
Okay, I'm sure it'll come back. Can't remember.
No.
Not to worry.
Completely gone. Okay.
It's another question.
Yeah, good. Can you simply explain how to do a marquee setting with a step bezel wire, please?
Okay. Really simple, without going into too much. Step bezel wire. So the wire has a profile like that. You've got your marquee stone here. What I would do is get my bezel strip and make the curvature of the bezel strip to match the curvature of the stone. And I would have it like that there. Okay, so the curvature matches the stone. Then I would get another strip and do exactly the same thing as that. So my strip is as long as the stone plus a little tail. I would get another strip that would come from here and that would go down Okay, so now, because I've got this, I can move these two pieces up and down to get the right size that I need for the stone. So you've got the bearing wire here. I would put it together. I would drop the stone down so the stone sits directly onto that ledge as we've got there. Once you've got it sitting on there, make sure these two ends here and here are pulled so it holds stone in place. Mark on the outsides then where the end here comes to. Take the stone out, reposition those two pieces where your marks are, come along and solder, and come along and solder, then trim off that bit, trim off that bit, and now you've got your marquee set in, bezel set, that's going to be able to fit your marquee stone. Brilliant, easy. I hope that was nice and simple, in theory. Good, thank you, Louise.
Okay, what time is the workshop next week? It is 2 o'clock, Barbara.
2 p.m.
2 o'clock.
Yes, Greenwich Mean Time, because our hour has changed.
Oh, yes. Okay, Victoria says, I made a chunky turquoise ring yesterday, had trouble with putting the surrounding wire around the bezel. When I soldered it on, the solder line came through, and I have some pictures. I used hard solder on the joint, then easy to solder it round the bezel, but it still became visible. Oh, I don't know if is my lead there to show my screen?
It's not, but I can put that into place. Bear with me, guys. There we go.
Let me just
there.
maximise these. Oh, you've just thrown it on the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll wait for you to do that.
Do you want me to read the question out again, or are you all right?
The solder line is showing through. Yeah.
How do I, which one go? Oh, there we go, I've done it. Okay.
Shall I show?
Please do.
Okay.
Oh, hang on, that's not the right one. I was going to start with that one.
May need to zoom in. That's lovely.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Isn't that lovely?
So are we looking at...
Just about
Are we looking at there?
Yeah, could be.
So the question was...
Soldering the bezel on and the solder line shows.
Yeah, okay.
Any more pictures?
Yes.
Cool.
That's
Lovely.
gorgeous.
Lovely,
I love it. I
yeah.
really love it. And...
Really need to zoom in because I can't hardly see that. It's just showing through, yeah? Ooh, just showing, okay. Okie dokies. So, what happens is you make up your piece, you solder your wire, here's the ends of my wire.
The ring itself around the bezel, yeah?
Yeah, okay, so here we go. So this is the join that you've got. When you solder it, the solder will fill the join.
I'm not sure you're looking at the right bit, are you? The ring itself around the bezel.
Yeah.
So it's this, yeah, okay, okay.
And your solder is over here. This is just a general piece of wire or general whatever. This is what happens. So when you solder, that happens. There's solder on the outside there. You come along, you clean it. Okay, so you clean that off there. So you've got no solder on the outside. The problem that you got then is that when you heat up the metal again and the metal gets to the temperature of the melting point of the solder may flow perhaps onto a surface that may be underneath it for whatever reason. And as that solder comes down and flows, the solder has to come from somewhere. And usually the solder will come down from the top and you get a little dip like that of where the solder is because the solder flows down and wants to flow down here because it likes the nice capillary action between the two surfaces. So that may happen and you'll have a slight dip, which is actually what you see because you've heated the metal hotter than the temperature, the melting point of the solder, so the solder will melt. Even if you didn't have that other metal down the bottom here and you still heated it up, there may be movement between these pieces of metal, and if those pieces of metal will separate slightly further, you're going to get that, because there's only so much solder between the joints. If the joint then was really, really, really close like that, the solder would be pretty much level. So it's either the surface is moving apart slightly because the movement of these has caused it to happen, or there's another piece of metal underneath that causes the solder to flow. So the trick is not to heat the metal hotter than the melting point of the solder that you've got running through the piece. If that solder did not melt, there's no way that the metal would pull apart, or no way that that solder would melt onto another surface. So I think that is what has happened with you there. Thank you. There we go. Yes, Louise.
Okay.
Look at my jumper.
I am, yeah. Where are we? Okay. Oh, can we recommend a good solution for the ultrasonic?
I get mine. I didn't. The problem we're getting is we got a different solution ourselves. But I like dual clean. I buy it by the 5 litre, that's an R, and I get it from Betts Metal Sales. Dual clean is called, a white 5 litre container, Betts Metal Sales. That's what I would suggest. And we've had that for years and years, no problem at all. We've changed to another brand and we're getting a few problems with that little ghosting that Louise mentioned. Yes, so we're going to go back to dual clean as soon as we've used up the old one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Envorn Green. Oh yes, there was a Jimena giveaway. Has that been done and dusted?
No, it's going to be announced tomorrow.
Fabulous. Okay. Soleil is saying, I want to make domed earrings that aren't too heavy. How do I flush set several sizes of stones when the metal is thinner than the thickness of the stones? Or is that not possible?
Ooh. It is possible, but it's a little technique that you can use, but it's going to take practice. So you've got your straight-sided setting burrs. You're going to have some setting burrs that are worn, that aren't as sharp as what they used to be. And it is those that you would use to cut a seat. Because you're effectively pushing down, you're effectively, here's your dome, okay? If you push down on the setting burrs, there will be movement of the metal, and the metal may move like that. Personally, I wouldn't try it because it doesn't always work. But by pushing down on here, you're going to make the metal go into a bit of a dent like that. So in theory, you still got the same thickness, but it's dented downwards. So you should be able to come in and set a stone within that dent. It's not ideal. Personally, I wouldn't try it. The best thing that I would use for that type of technique, instead of pushing down to try and push down the metal that comes out underneath, what I would do is build it up with, say, a jump ring on the top, like that, and then set the stone in with the jump ring. Simple like that. You can use then a variety of techniques to push that little jump ring over onto the stone. I would not necessarily, let's have a think. If your stone is that shape, I would not necessarily use a jump ring that is that size. So the stone does not fit inside the jump ring. I would have it so the stone sits, that's like my cross section through. I would have it so the jump ring is not, what am I trying to say, is bigger than the stone, but not too small. So when you cut a seat, you can actually cut a seat in to the jump ring that then will give it depth. And then you've got this little bit of metal here that is part of the jump ring to push over onto the stone like that there. And that would be the best way to produce a setting. And we've done this lots of times. Or there is one other way of doing this, is instead of soldering the jump ring on top of the dome, here's your dome, I would solder the jump ring underneath down here to give the metal depth, thickness, sufficient thickness for then the stone to sit down. So now you can set the stone nice and deep, knowing that the stone is going to be seated and there's enough metal in that particular place for the jump ring. That is going to be better for you because the jump rings are underneath the dome where they cannot be seen. So the outside can still be lovely and flush, completely smooth, but you've got the extra jump rings underneath. And I would do that by simply then drilling a hole through the metal. Then you've got your placement on the inside here to put your jump ring. Then you can then come in with your 90-degree setting burr or straight sided setting burr to set the stone in, knowing you've got the depth here that you can use. Okay? Yes, Lou?
Good. Where was I? Sandra, does kyanite lose colour if heated? I saw a recent piece, my own, in a photo where the stone appeared darker in the centre than edges. Originally not like this. I heated the thermolock to remove it. I'm not sure if it really changed or if it was just a photographic artefact. I don't have it anymore. Well, I don't know. But when I don't know, I always go straight to
Sally
my
Spencer's
Sally Spencer book, which is just in my bench.
Gemstone.
Yeah, and it's in and out of my bench drawer constantly. And basically kyanite, you can't really do anything to. So,
as in, you can't
abrasives, barrel polisher, casting or kiln, file pick, all these are no.
Okay.
Polishing, steam, torch, ultrasonic, avoid, all of those things. But it does have good stability, resistance to attack by chemical and UV, etc. But everything else, hardness is 5 to 7, toughness is fair to pour because of its cleavage. So
quite fibrous, isn't it?
It's yeah.
So the answer is the heat. I'd say the heat from getting it out of the thermalock may have affected it then.
Possibly, but then if it wasn't like it when it left Sandra,
and it's stable in ultraviolet light or UV light,
stability is good. It could just be the photo. How did you see a photo of it then? Did somebody approach you to say something's happened, or did you just notice it and think? Because like photos can really make things look very different, can't they?
Yes, just the play of light. And it could well be that the play of light on the fibrous structure of the stone as well. That it's not reflecting, and as a result of that, you'll see different colours or different shades.
Because it can look chatoyant as well, can't it? Because of the lines and lines and lines.
Cat's eye.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it, without
seeing.
Yeah, but you can't really do anything to it. But if you haven't got this book and you work with gemstones, it is
definitely get it from us because we have free postage on it in the UK.
Because I have studied gemstones.
Oh, you're a geologist.
But sometimes you do just need that reassurance, don't you? You do. It's just you can't remember everything, can you? So, but yeah, it's brilliant, and I do use it.
Guide.
I do use it all the time. It's exactly what it says. Yeah, quick reference guide to working with gemstones. Traffic light system. So green is yes, so okay, it's good to do. Orange is amber.
Warning.
Approach precaution, and red is it's a no-no. So yeah,
definitely.
Brilliant. It's got all the usual suspects in there, and it's great.
So buy it from the store. It's about £28 with free postage in the UK. Nice one.
Yes. Rocky Mountain Bit, is that the same for the US? I think that was the hallmarking. I don't know. Sorry,
no,
I'm not really familiar at all with the hallmarking system in the States.
Check your local government, I think, for that one.
Yeah, sorry. Will Argentium melt down and cast exactly like 925? We've been told it casts very well. We haven't cast it ourselves yet, have we?
We haven't tried it yet. We haven't got enough scrap yet, have we? which is surprising.
Yeah.
So yes, it does cast. I think someone says it casts extremely well. So yes, no problems with it at all. You can use your scraps, whether you do it for cuttlefish, for delft clay, or even lost wax casting. But yes, it'll melt down exactly the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, Sandra says they do have Sally's, but couldn't quite tell if that was what was happening. Generally, thermo gel, touch wood, has never let me down.
No.
As long as you pack it up and around the stone, and I always don't want to say that because I feel like I'm going to jinx myself if I say that. But yeah, it's generally good stuff, isn't it? If you get in and out quickly with the torch and you've got that packed around, then you're all right. I mean, I don't like the feeling of it. I think it makes me...
No, okay, what you were talking about thermogel.
Thermogel, I said thermogel.
As opposed to thermolock.
I did say thermogel.
Thermogel, didn't
yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, it's like that avocado guacamole sort of...
Yes.
Yeah. But it does work, it's good stuff. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just thinking about guacamole now. Good. Another question?
Yes, please.
There was a part 2 to Donald's. Oh, I'm bookmarking. Hang on, I didn't mean to bookmark. I wanted to control an F.
There's a part 2.
The bezel strip. The bezel with the marquise. Thanks, but the bezel strip butts up to the lower, thicker part of the strip, so there is a gap where the thinner part is.
Yeah, okay. Well done. Well done for looking at that. So what you have to do is, when the piece comes up, you then have to make that little bit of a file cut in the bottom, so they will meet together like that. Yes. So that piece then that comes around, so the piece that comes around like this is going to have to be a little step like that, so that part then gets into the ledge. Yes. Yes, so then, yeah, there we go. Hope that's better. So yeah, so I know if you butt it up, you're going to have that gap. We're going to make like a lap joint, just file away the bottom, pillar file, just to remove, it's literally like 0.5 millimeter. Remove it, so when that butts up into there, it'll fit there. Cool, well spotted.
Good.
Yes, Lou.
Right, Dermot is saying, do you use an extractor when you are soldering or melting?
We don't. We are very careful with what we use. When we solder, we never use a paste solder, because the paste solder does give out fumes and does give out like a cloud of whatever it is. So we never use paste solder. If you do use paste solder, some type of extraction is very wise to do, or have a respirator on, or do it in front of an open window. Open the door so you get a through draft of air. When we come to melt down, it does get quite smelly from maybe the old bits of dirt that gets trapped in the jewellery when we melt it down. But that would be the only instance that you would get fumes coming off. If you melt down your normal scrap, there's nothing on the scrap that would cause any fumes. Sprinkle some borax over the top. You sometimes get some of the borax floating up into the air due to the heat from the molten metal, but always stand back. Any doubt, use a respirator, or definitely have extraction. But for us here, we don't have any, but we're very careful with how we handle the metal.
I do wear a mask sometimes, and I always wear my eye protection.
Diodydium glasses, or diodydium something glasses, aren't they? Like welding glasses.
The welding glasses.
Yeah.
I'm going to look into replacing them with something, because they're so dark I can't see.
Yes, I think you should have the glassworkers glasses, which is the diodium.
Yeah, we need to look into that, because when you're melting down, it's so bright. I was talking to Charles Luton Brain about this, and he said that's the quickest way to really hurt your eyesight in the long term. So that is really something to think about if you're doing melting down.
Absolutely.
Even on on any basis, whether it's regular or
due to the heat.
Yeah, because you have to look at it, don't you? You can't not look at it. So it's you really do need to. What are they? Diodidium.
Something like that.
Because we've got the welding glasses, and I do wear them.
Yes, but they are so dark. We use them for platinum, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of usually just shake them off at the last one when I'm pouring. Or get
see
somebody to take them off me so I can see where I'm pouring.
Exactly.
But do think about that.
Yes, definitely. Super. Very good.
And it never hurts to just put a mask on either.
No, exactly. It's a good respirator with there's good dust collection on it. Yes.
Good. Peter is saying, I solder a jump ring to the back of a thin piece of metal that I want to flush set a stone into.
Yeah, there we go. Yes. Yep, that was an answer to how to
how to
flush set on very thin metal.
Oh, cool. Okay. I solder it to the back. Ah, well, that's good. Okay. I like that. Jump into the back.
And also, you can do that quite often if you are if you have a ring and somebody wants us to flush set a stone into it, and it has the culet sticking down, and that culet would actually stick down below into the curvature of the ring, little jumping on the bottom, just so the culet is protected by that jump ring, and it won't hurt the ring, it won't hurt the person who's wearing it. Yeah. Yes, please.
Good. Sandra says, I took the photo pre-exhibition. I was so close to the deadline, I didn't do a close enough final check. Yeah, but if somebody's bought it, it's been sold as seen, so they obviously love it, so I won't worry.
It depends on how they treat it then, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Wouldn't worry.
I won't worry at all, no. Good. Very interesting questions today, and of course good answers. Oh, thank you. Couldn't quite tell. Yeah. Oh, it was the thermo lock. Was that when you set the stone? Then did you hold it in thermo lock? Yeah. That shouldn't.
It has to get to sort of virtually boiling point water to try and release it. So that's like 100 degrees.
But it's not 100 degrees because you have to squidge it with your fingers. So if it was hot enough if it was cool enough to handle, it would presumably be safe enough for the stone as well.
I would have thought so, yes.
Yeah.
But I think it depends then on how you actually heat up that thermolock. If you use a torch, the flame may have glanced over the stone perhaps. So that's why...
But you would have noticed.
Yes, I'm sure. That's why a hot air blower is a good idea. As opposed to a torch. But yeah, as you say, if it's cool enough to handle...
Used to heat gun, I reckon that's probably fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah.
Good. Off my bench. Thanks so much for the rolled golden hallmarking info. Very welcome. Good. A heat gun from the side. Yeah, I reckon that's probably fine.
Yeah. Or even if you are worried, just put something over the stone. Perhaps get a piece of metal and just hold the metal over the top of the stone, not in contact with the stone, just to act as a little bit of a shield, so it only heats around the outside and not the actual directly onto the stone as well. And
I just put mine in a cup of water.
Yeah. Not your tea, but some water.
Not that, no.
Or your coffee.
Yeah, don't pick up your
coffee.
thermolock and take a sip of that. I do that in ceramics now and again. We've got the slip and and there's a cup there and a cup there, and there's somebody's water there, and very often you pick up and you go to drink out of it. Yeah, it's not good. Not good. Don't recommend it.
Good.
Okay, we've answered all the questions.
Excellent.
This
Bang
doesn't
on
happen very
5
often, does
o'clock
it? This
as
is
well.
brilliant.
Super duper duper duper. Thank you all.
Good.
So pleased with that.
And a few new people as well today, so welcome to all of you guys.
Thank you everybody who's joined us today. Don't forget, go to, if you haven't done already, atb.yt/hobby. I think there's about 700 people now who have signed up for the workshop. As I say, we're not charging you entry into this particular giveaway. The workshop is free. It's over a 2-hour workshop. We normally charge £15 for our workshops when we do them. But the workshop,
that's a bargain,
that's a
isn't
bargain,
it?
as
That's
it
a
is.
bargain.
It's a workshop all about roller mills and economy roller mills. Obviously, the Hobby 80 roller mill is what we look at, but that applies to any other budget or eco costing roller mill. Go to here. If you haven't done so already, you sign up, you get the workshop link free. That is next Monday at 2 p.m. It's a pre-recorded workshop, but we're going to be here. We're premiering it next Monday, and you can ask your questions in the chat and we will answer them. I'll have the rolling mill set up. I've got to decide whether I'm going to put the plain roller or the V grooves and the D-section rollers on, so I may do that.
And then it's nearly Christmas here then, because next week I have to do the Christmas window in the shop.
Yes,
because our Christmas, our Winter Fair Day is a week Saturday, so we have to dress the window ready for that. So that's got to be done by the 16th of November.
And then we're in the run up to Christmas.
Yeah, I've got a theme this year for the window.
Got a theme. You may have seen us on social media. You may see me traipsing around the town here with the bench under my arm. That's what's going to go in the window. Can I tell them, or is it a secret? Secret.
Oh,
go on. Tell them then. Go on, we've got 5 minutes.
Okay, well, basically, we've got another question now. Yes, Gillian, you can still watch on catch up. I hope you're okay. Everything's okay. Sandra, drop me a line on email and I'll double check. I'll double check on that for you. So I've got one of the Durston. I can't remember the name of the official name. I call it the mini bench.
Mini workbench.
It's like a mini tabletop workbench. And my theme this year is, because last year it was angels, which turned out to be very appropriate, didn't it?
Yes.
Anyway, this year is going to be Handmade Christmas, and we're going to have Santa's jewellery workshop. So I'm going to have a bench in the window. So you're going to come up to the window like that, and it's going to be as if you're walking up to the bench like that. The bench peg's going to be there, and we're going to have, hopefully going to have Santa's jewellery workshop. Your lovely friend she doesn't know yet, I haven't asked her, but we're going to get a sign, and it's basically going to be based on
Santa's workshop.
Santa's workshop, but it's Santa's jewellery workshop.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's all going to be all happening by magic on and around the bench.
God.
So it sounds quite silly now, doesn't it? But
not at all. It sounds really good.
I just hope I can pull it off, because last year's was brilliant.
Yes, thanks to my father, bless him.
Yeah, he had his idea, and we made it happen, didn't we?
We did. We will never be able to top that.
It was very poignant.
But yes, so the idea is you go up to the window, there's going to be a bench in the window, the Durston bench, like that. There's your peg. Yeah, so there's the bench. You go up to the window, and then above here, then we're going to have a sign, aren't we? Like that says Santa's. Yeah.
Well, if Madeline can't do it, you're going to be doing that.
Oh, I must be not doing that. Jewellery
workshop. We could have all twinkly lights coming off the sign.
Yeah, so Santa's jewellery workshop, and I'm sure I would like to have like a sign that says something like that there, that says, I don't know, workshop. Whatever.
We'll have his little cuppa on the side as well, as if he's just gone off on his break.
What cup here?
Yeah. Couple of tools. Sally Spencer's book, because that's going to be there in Santa's workshop, isn't it? Let's face it. He's going to need that for a start.
So there's my hammer, there's that.
And obviously some jewellery as well, because this is the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's some bits and bobs on the bench that Santa's working on, and I'll have some bits floating. I like my invisible string, so we'll have some bits floating around as well, as if he's just happening by magic.
And then the rest of the window, then we'll have actual stock that we're going to be selling. That's the whole idea.
Well, I get a bit carried away with the window, and I forget that it's to sell
jewellery. We're going to dangle down rings, aren't we?
Yeah, they'll be on the invisible thread, so that they'll be all twinkly and sparkly and
hanging down.
Yeah.
So that's the idea of our Christmas window. Keep tuned on the socials for that, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, I will. Yeah, we will post pictures for sure. And the jewel in the crown, so to speak, is the Durston mini tabletop bench.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is an actual bench.
It's an actual bench.
Yeah, it is a bench that.
I'd like to think it would be the bench that Father Christmas himself would use. Would there be an adjustable saw frame on the naughty list? Almost certainly. Be there with the paste solder, won't it?
I'd put that. What would I put that? I tell you what, was it Krampusnacht?
Yes.
Yes, instead of a twig in someone's kiddie's shoe, it would be an adjustable saw frame and paste solder. They'd be naughty. Now that would be cool, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Is that right? Do you put like a twig in it? Something like that? Is it?
Yeah, birch twigs, wasn't it, for the naughty
yes,
kids?
for the naughty kids, yeah. They'll put adjustable saw frame. That'll be interesting. That'd be an interesting post, wouldn't it? You'd be naughty and nice.
I think we can go home now, can't we?
Can we go home now?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, I'll keep you posted on that. I'll send some pictures. Okay.
So, yes, go to atb.yt/hobby to enter for the free workshop on rolling mills, and also a chance to win one of 5 hobby rolling mills. And the first 2 people drawn out will win the combination rolls as well. Excellent. Louise, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
We will see you all next week. Keep an eye on socials for all what's happening with this, and we'll see you next Monday at 2 p.m. Everyone take care. Bye-bye. Ooh, missed the button, Louise. Got it. Bye.